Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Asghar Ali, Internet Level 3 and API-510 Pressure Vessel Inspector. Today our topic is how to determine the corrosion rate for existing pressure vessel in accordance with the API-510. To determine the corrosion rate, we must know about the corrosion rate. The corrosion rate is the thinning or the loss of the base metal thickness within a certain period. And there are two types of the corrosion rates, short-term and long-term corrosion rate. The short-term corrosion rate is the difference of the two most distant thickness divided by the time interval, and here is the formula. The long-term corrosion rate is the difference of the initial thickness and actual thickness divided by time interval, and here is its formula. The legends are where the CRST is the short-term corrosion rate and CRLT is the long-term corrosion rate. T is the actual or the most recent thickness, and the TA is the initial first thickness after vessel installation at the same CML as TA or the thickness at the start of a new corrosion rate environment. TP is the previous thickness taken at same location, not the same CML. It should be at the same location as the TA. The TP minus TA is the time interval between previous, means prior, and actual thickness in years. TI minus TA is the time interval between initial and actual thickness in years. We take one example. Example number 01. A 16-inch ID pressure vessel in caustic service is measured at 0.375 thickness 1 year. This is our initial thickness. At the next inspection, which is performed after 5 years, the vessel has thinned to 0.00 inches, and then after 5 years later, the vessel has thinned to 0.15 inches. From the above information, calculate the short and long-term corrosion rate. The TI is the 0.375 inches, the TP is 0.200 inch, and TA is 0.150 inch. And the time interval between the actual and the previous thickness is 5 years between this and this thickness, and the time interval between the actual and initial thickness is 10 years. 5 plus 5 years. The time interval between the first inspection and the last inspection is 10 years. So we will put all our data in the relevant formulas. This is the short-term corrosion rate formula, and after putting the values in this one and evaluating them, and the value for the short-term corrosion rate is 0.01 inch per year, and for the long-term corrosion rate the value is 0.0225 inches per year. Another example here is again a 16 ID pressure vessel and caustic service measured at 0.375 inch thickness 1 year. This is the initial thickness. At the next inspection 5 years later, the vessel has thinned to 0.25 inches. At the next inspection 5 years later, the vessel has thinned to 0.002 inches. This will be the previous inspection, not this one. And 5 years later, the vessel has thinned to 0.150 inches, and this is our actual thickness. From the above information, calculate the short and long term corrosion rate, and we taken all our values from this data. TI is 0.375 inches, TP is 0.200 inches, TA is 0.15 inches, and time interval between the actual and the previous thickness is 0.5 years, and the time interval between the actual and the initial thickness is 15 years. Between this one and this one is 15 years, so 5 plus 5 plus 5, and between the previous and the actual is this 5 years. Similarly, we put all the data in the short-term corrosion rate formula and the long-term corrosion rate formula, and we'll get the value 0.01 inch per year the short-term corrosion rate, and the long-term corrosion rate will be the 0.015 inches per year. Here is the third example. Is a 100 ID pressure vessel in hydrocarbon service measured at 0.500 thickness on 30th June 2004. This is our initial thickness. At the next inspection on 24th August 2008, the vessel has thinned to 0.00 inches. This is not will be our previous thickness. At the next inspection 31st December 2013, the vessel has thinned to 0.350 inches, and this is our previous thickness. And on 18th May 2022, The vessel has thin 2.250 inches, and this is our actual thickness. From the above information, calculate the short and long conclusion rate. Here is the values. TI is the 0.50 inches, TP is 0.35 inches, TA is 0.250 inches. When we calculate the time interval between the previous and actual thickness is 9.5 years. When you deduct the time interval from the 18th May 2022 to 2013, it will be 9.5 years. And for the from the initial to the last inspection, the most inspection time interval is 18 years. So similarly, we put the values into our clear rate formulas. Short term clear rate will be 0.010 inch per year, and the long term corrosion rate will be 0.014 inch per year. Which corrosion rate to be used for further calculation, it should be decided between the vessel inspector and the corrosion engineer. I hope this information helped you out for calculating the corrosion rate values. Thanks for watching the professional inspection channel. Kindly like and subscribe our channel and kindly watch it completely.